Hey everyone, I'm recording this in August 24 and we're near a full moon, and I thought I'd use this opportunity to talk about an alternative calendar system that I first thought of when I was quite young actually. I kind of came up with it by mistake. When I was in 5th grade, my family and I finally got connected to the internet, which was like a very futuristic technology at the time. It was almost like, someday when we get to go to the moon, like the average citizen gets to go to the moon, it'll probably feel like how it felt when we first connected to the internet. All of a sudden, you could talk to your friends from halfway around the world, and you get all this information. And it's all of a sudden it just seemed like anything was possible. But one of the problems I had was I was playing computer games, Yahoo games. So I love abstract strategy games. I was playing chess, and I got into this habit of every weekend I would stay up a little bit later than I had the night before, and so if my normal bedtime was 10 o'clock, I wouldn't go to bed until like 11:30, and then the problem was the next day I would repeat the thing again and go to bed at maybe 1 o'clock, and then all of a sudden on Sunday night, all of a sudden I would have to shift back like 3 hours, and I would be in such a mess. And I used to have family. We lived in Pittsburgh, which is in the Eastern time zone, and we had family in San Francisco, which is in the Pacific time zone, obviously. And we would fly to see our family, and I would arrive in San Francisco, and I would feel so refreshed. And I would actually go to bed on time on that one day, because I was actually tired at the end of the day. So it made me realize we have a lot of problems with our timekeeping. Number one, there isn't enough time in the day to do all the enjoyable things that we want to do. Two, people don't get enough sleep. We have a lot of medical conditions that are based on sleep deprivation. We obviously it contributes to a lot of accidents. Whatever the case is. And three, a lot of people have insomnia. They're not tired at the end of the day. I mean, we talk about insomnia as not being able to sleep, but if you think about it, how many of your friends who have insomnia could go 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row without sleeping and just not be able to sleep? I would say none of them. People who have insomnia can't sleep every 24 hours. They can't sleep. They can't sleep every 24 hours on a regular basis. That's the problem. And so it made me realize there's a solution to all that. All three of the problems. I'll let you pause the video for a second to think about ponder about the solution. Okay, the solution is we could just have days that are not 24 hours long. And the most obvious solution, just based on our astronomy that we can see in the sky, is we could have a day every time the moon rises and sets. And the moon rises and sets every 24 hours and 50 minutes. So if you were standing on the moon and you look down at Earth, you would see Earth rotate. Assuming you're on the side of the moon that can see the Earth, you would see the Earth rotate every 24 hours and 50 minutes. So if you were watching people hey, that might be convenient. If you were living on the moon and you wanted to communicate with your friends on Earth, it might need to be, well, I guess Earth has a lot of satellites, so you could relay the messages, but if you wanted to actually use a telescope and look at your friends, and they were following a lunar schedule, 2450, then you'd be able to communicate with them every day. They'd be able to communicate with you as well, because as it is, we don't have many satellites on the moon to relay messages. Well, I guess we will have to, because if there's people living on the far side of the moon. But 2450 would just be really nice, because at the end of the day you'd actually be tired. I think that would be the main benefit. I was out of work for some time last year, and I gravitated toward such a schedule just by mistake. You know, it's just very second nature to me. I need those extra few minutes to be tired every day, and I just get later and later and later until... Oh yeah, there's another reason I'm recording this video at night, aside from the moon being out. There's another benefit to an irregular schedule. It doesn't have to be a lunar schedule, but any sort of schedule that's not 24 hours. The other benefit is that you get to enjoy the other hours of the day. See, right now I'm recording this in summer. If you had a regular 24-hour schedule and you slept at night, you probably don't see that many hours of darkness every day. And I'm not saying that I'd like to be in darkness all the time, but it's a different experience. You know, sometimes I get to look at... I love astronomy. Sometimes I get to see planets and stars that I wouldn't see during the day. You know, I was just looking at right now, Venus is in its most elongated phase. I was just looking at, you can only see Venus at just before sunrise or just after sunset because it's closer to the sun, obviously. Just last month, Mars was in opposition. But the other thing I like about such a schedule, and it comes back to the computer chess I was playing back then. I remember I drove my parents crazy playing computer chess. My mom, this was back when we had dial-up internet. My mom needed to use the phone because she wanted to call my grandparents in Taiwan, and she'd pick up the phone and it would cause the internet to disconnect, and we would get into fights over the phone line all the time. And it dawned on me, if the whole world used a irregular schedule like that, we might as well just all have the same time zone then. And we wouldn't have to stay up to communicate, you know. I wonder what time zone we use on the moon, though. Well, I guess that would be really convenient, because if we used the lunar schedule, if you were on the moon, you would constantly have a clock hanging overhead. And I guess it would be really convenient for them. Assuming you're on the near side of the moon, at least, you would constantly look up in the sky and just have a clock right overhead. And just all use the same time zone. But I would stay up late to play chess because I had a favorite opponent. He was from Russia. And I would stay up late, and it would be morning for him. He'd play a few rounds before he headed out for his day, and he's really good at chess. You know, Russians are fascinated with chess. Anyways, I'm just throwing this idea out there. Obviously, when I do follow the schedule, usually not very long term, because eventually I have to communicate with the rest of the world who doesn't follow the schedule. I always feel so good when I follow it. And unfortunately, I don't have many people to follow it with. It's a very lonely experience as it is right now. But I hope that will change in the future. Actually, I think it would save us money, not only in the sense that we'd be more productive, have fewer accidents, less medical bills, but right now it's cheaper for people to actually stay up at night than during the day, because our lighting is very cheap. I was just reading about how daylight savings times actually waste money. They're just a little bit of a social momentum we can't seem to get rid of, but they cost us money as it is right now. And so we'd actually be better off having our activities at night and sleep during the day. But as a compromise, we could do this 24/50 schedule that I just described. Anyway, there we go. Someday the lunar rovers up there will be in a museum. Thanks for watching.